Hey guys, it's Dash here again. Hey, today I want to tell you about my 1025R. Do a little bit of review on it and share some information with you, primarily on what I broke on it. As y'all know, I run a little side business to kind of fund my hobby of just doing tractor work in general. I find it a lot of fun, and I make a little bit of money doing it. So, but when you do this for work, you are a little bit more aggressive with your machine sometimes. You want to satisfy the customer, and typically you'll make sure that you can get the job done to their satisfaction. And sometimes that might mean pushing your equipment a little bit harder than you normally would, and encountering some breakdowns and things that you may not have expected. So I'm going to share that with you today. I hope you find it helpful. I hope it's useful. And you know, this 1025R is a 2017 model. It's like the new body style, if you will. It has the 120R loader, kind of with that curved boom. You know, those have been around for a few years now, so it's nothing too special, but it is an upgrade from the H120 loader. Anyway, it's got all the new upgrades compared to what everything a current 2019 model or 2020 model has. So they really haven't changed in the past few years. So, but anyway, I'll tell you what I broke. Give you insight on how much it relatively costs to repair it, and you know, some warranty considerations with that also. So let's check it out. All right, the first thing I'd like to point out is that I am doing this in my garage. Please don't make fun of me too much. My garage is messy. It's very crowded. I don't have much space. This is all I got. One of these days I'll build a garage or have one built, and I'll be much happier camper then. But until now, this is what I got, so bear with me. I'm just going to go around the tractor. I'm going to go around this way, and hopefully I remember everything. I literally made a list, which is embarrassing, but that's reality. So we'll start at the front. First thing to note is I really beat the hell out of this brush guard here. This literally had no scratches or anything on it when I bought it. And I've owned this since, March of 2019. So it's been about a year and a half, and that's about it. So I've beat up the parking stand quite a bit. And a lot of this just happens by, you know, running into like trees and brush. That's primarily, you know, you get right up in it. And that's just what happens. So I have some John Deere paint and brush some of this down. I even have a little sandblasting gun, so I can fix that up. So that's not really a major issue. It's just cosmetically it looks a little worn. So that happens. And I don't know how well you can see on the hood, but there's some scratches. I've never buffed it. I've washed it with a rag, and that's really about it. But there are definitely some scratches. So one of the things that happened is this plastic hydraulic line cover. I think on the newer loaders, they might make that steel, but as of now, it's plastic, and they come with these zip ties. These are pretty big. So anyway, I broke one of the zip ties off, and then of course the plastic peeled up. So I got another zip tie for it. It's literally in this garage. I just got to put it on. So not too big of a deal. This right here is the the diverter. The couplers, the connectors for the Artelian diverter. This is an Artelian product. Right here, this coupler was always leaking, and what was happening is there's an O-ring inside of it. I don't think you can really see it very well, but inside of it there's an O-ring, and what was happening is every time I would disconnect it, I would take the male coupler out, and then it would just leak on its own. Drip, 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 just continuously, and it was losing a lot of hydraulic fluid. And so then I went to Ken's bolt-on hooks, and I bought another coupler here, and I bought a few of them, and it would work one time, and then it would just happen again. And so I just got around to thinking, what the heck could that be that's wrong with it? And I'll show you the problem. Now I really don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on camera, but this was literally the male end that went into that coupler down there. And what was happening was, it was not at all this female coupler. what it was the male coupler. And I don't, this probably doesn't really do it justice, but this I don't know, this nipple, I guess is what you would call it. It's extending beyond the lip. And what it was doing is it was almost basically going too far into the other coupler, and then it was grabbing a hold of that O-ring, and just enough, just ever so slightly, to pull it out a little bit and make it so that this would leak. It stumped me, and I probably spent about $50 in these female couplers trying to fix it. And turns out it was actually the male coupler, and this is just worn out over time. And yeah, so if you have that problem, this might be your issue. Okay, my other issue is my tires. Nothing wrong with them in terms of their functionality, but they they will go flat on you if you catch a nail. Or at least here in North Dakota, we have, they're like locust trees. I don't remember the name of them, but they literally have like thorns, and those thorns are super strong and super sharp. And I was asked to do a tree cleanup job, and the guy had a bunch of brush. And so I was grabbing a hold of them with the grapple, and every once in a while you drop a little branch. And I ain't kidding you, I had like 6 or 7 holes in this tire. And it was like a porcupine. You could literally see the thorns sticking out of it, and they would break off, and it would cause a slow leak. And I ended up bringing it into it's called Northwest Tire here in Bismarck, and they fixed it up for me. They were going to try to patch as many of them as they could, but what they ended up doing is patching the larger ones, and then they filled it with like slime. And I know slime isn't really the best solution, but in case I do run over those thorns again, at least it will instantly seal up, and I won't have to go with a flat tire. So ever since I did that with all 4 of my tires, it's been great. But literally, when I got done with that job, 3 out of my 4 tires went flat by the next morning, and it was really embarrassing. So they might be industrial tires, but you know, they're not thorn proof. I know that for sure. So we put some slime in them, and that did great. Now, I know some of you might not like the whole concept of slime. They're not really great for tire sensors for like automobiles, but for agricultural tires, I have no problem. You know, they say they can eat away at the rim, the wheel faster. I don't know. That's probably true. I don't know. But until it does, I ain't gonna have no flat tires, and I'll just buy new tires, I guess, or buy a new whole wheel set. But anyway, that happened. Alright, I broke 2 things on the 3-point hitch. The first thing that I broke almost immediately, the first few hours I actually had the tractor, was the top link. So that's a new top link. That's from TSC, and this is a Category 1 top link. Now, the one that comes standard on these 1025R is a Category 1, except the threads are Category 0, so they're much thinner than these. That it's kind of a weak point, honestly. And the reason why mine broke was because I had the ROPS down. The ROPS are pointing down, they're hanging here, and I raised the 3-point all the way. And anyway, it actually bent the threads because they're Category 0 threads. They're rather thin. So that happened. This new top link was, I think, like $20, so it was no big deal. Doesn't even bolt on. It's just got the the pins on each end, so that was no big deal. The other thing I broke on the 3-point hitch was this buckle. Not necessarily this, but right here, it had cracked. This aluminum bolt that goes through. It cracked right along inside of here, and so this whole piece just broke off, and then this disconnected from this. And so the whole 3-point hitch was dragging on one side. And so I kind of jimmy rigged it up there and got it figured out for a little while until I could order a new one. And I thought about, boy, can I weld this? Well, I don't have an aluminum welder. And I was so baffled at first on why they would make these aluminum. I thought that was just crazy. Well, then it finally hit me. Well, if they made it out of steel, you would never be able to turn this buckle because it would just rust shut. So aluminum is strong, but it's a little bit more brittle than steel. So I imagine I might need to replace this again at some point. I either didn't have it tight enough or I had it too tight. I'm not sure which one, but it eventually broke right there. I got the new buckle. I'm sure it probably could have been covered under warranty, but I ended up just ordering a new one off of greenpartsstore.com. I think it was like $50 for this piece. This is all one, so this part of the buckle, this thread, is automatically a part of the bolt that goes through there. So I just ordered that one piece. It was probably like $30 or $40. It really wasn't too bad. All right, I'm not the only one that's ever had this issue, but I've broken my light off. I ran it into a tree. It was just hanging down there. And then actually what happened, so I let it hang for a long time because I didn't have a replacement light and I was so busy that I never really got around to just fixing it. And what happened is there's a bolt hole through this through the ROPS right here, and the wires were just kind of hanging down on it. And what happened is actually because the light was swaying back and forth so much, the coating on the wire actually wore through, and then the bare wire touched the frame. Now that was no big deal except for it popped the fuse, and all of a sudden I'm just going out there doing my work and the whole tractor just dies. Everything just stops. And so I couldn't figure out why that fuse was blowing, and sure enough I found that there was an exposed wire because it was hanging there, and it ate through enough that it shorted and blew the fuse. And so I had to fix that. So if you have a broken light, fix it right away. Don't be like me. Don't be lazy like me and wait. Once I fixed the light, it was perfectly fine. No more blown fuses, no more shorts. And I actually got this light, thankfully enough, because I have an awesome dealership, which is RDO Equipment in Bismarck, North Dakota. I went there, and the shop manager is a great guy, and I had just brought it in for service, I think, and I was talking to him, and I said, hey, I need to order a light. And he said, I can do you one better. He brought me out into the shop, and he had a whole box full of them. And I said, how do you have a whole box full of lights laying around? And he said, well, when people would order cabs, they would have to take these lights off. And so they can't resell them, so they usually just throw them away. And they're perfectly good lights, they're brand new, nothing wrong with them, just they have to take them off in order to mount the cab. So he gave one to me for free. So that was really awesome. If you're looking for a light, maybe ask your local dealership if they got any laying around. One other thing that I'm currently experiencing is it seems like in cold weather that it doesn't, I don't know, if it just doesn't recognize neutral. I'll try to go to start it, and I kind of seem to have to jiggle this back and forth a little bit to try to find that exact sweet spot. It always starts, but it just seems like in cold weather, I don't know if it's the electronics or whatever, but there's nothing wrong with my shift lever. It's just that it doesn't read that it's in neutral or something. It takes me maybe 2 or 3 tries, and then it finally goes. But maybe that's a common problem. I don't know. I haven't really researched it enough yet. It hasn't bothered me enough to really want to figure out the issue. I guess that's a good thing. My next thing was the parking brake. It's not like it wasn't functional, it just loosened up over time, so I had to adjust it. I honestly can't remember how I did it right now, but there are some linkages that go underneath, and then I know that it actually goes to that side, and the brake I think is over there on that wheel. So there's some linkage that you need to adjust. It's not too complicated, but you just want to make sure that you can adjust it right. I think it took me about 45 minutes. I had the whole thing set just perfectly fine. So now it works great. It's got a lot of tension to it, and before I set the parking brake, and it just wouldn't hold the tractor in place. So over time I just had to readjust it. All right, over here, not too long, about 50 hours of time on the hour meter. This 3-point lever would fall on its own. And I guess it was a pretty common problem. What happened was there's like these little washers underneath here. I have a video on it too. I don't know how well you can see that. It's you can see where my hand is. There's a nut right there, and that's the joint of the 3-point lever. It's much easier to see if you take the tire off. Anyway, that behind that nut are some kind of like silicone washers, and I don't know, one of them just kind of broke. And I think it helps control friction, and it broke, and then therefore it kind of loosened it up too much where this 3-point lever would fall. I never did get another one of those washers. They feel like they're made out of paper. I literally just tightened up that bolt that nut about 3/4 of a turn, and never had any problems since. So that might not be a perfect solution, but I really didn't feel like going to a dealer to get a special little paper washer. So that was minor, but that happened in about 50 hours or so. As I mentioned earlier, I have a Artilian diverter, which is right here. And the Artilian diverter kit comes with a button, not this knob. You can buy this knob as an accessory, but a button that you can mount on the loader joystick here. Now the button was, I was pushing the button and it was giving me some trouble. It wasn't always working, so I figured the button itself was bad, and that's why I ordered this this knob. When I ordered the knob, the problem still didn't go away, though I do like this knob much better. Now the problem with it, this isn't related to the 1025R at all, because this isn't a standard feature. But if you have an Artilian diverter and you order the button, there's a wire that runs all the way through here, and then it connects. You can run the wire wherever you want to, really. I have a video on that if you want to watch it. But I have mine running through here. It goes under the floorboard and then up to the fuse box. But anyway, I had some just some crimp connectors, and those crimp connectors weren't making a good connection for me, so I ended up just hardwiring the wires together, soldered them together, and then wrapped them in electrical tape. Ever since then I had no problem at all with the button. So if you're experiencing button issues, it might just be your connectors, because that's all it was for me. And especially when they would get some moisture, if it was kind of a very foggy morning or something with a lot of moisture in the air, it would cause me problems. All right, another coupler issue. This one right here was leaking. You could actually, it would leak while it was connected also. So I ended up just buying a new coupler. I think I got that one from Ken's Bolt-On Hooks too, and never had any issues since. So that might be your issue. I'm not entirely sure if you have that same thing, but I've only had to replace one so far. And right now these caps are I mean, you can see how stiff this is. It's not even bending very well. So these are kind of getting worn. I think I'm just gonna have to buy some new ones. All right, turns out that I forgot one. So the rear differential lock right here, this locking mechanism, there's linkage. I don't think you can see it. No, you can't with the tire on, but there's linkage that this connects to, and it's underneath this tire here, and it's actually quite low to the ground. I'm kind of surprised. I was doing a tree cleanup. Actually, it was the same tree cleanup job that caused all those flat tires. A branch or something was caught underneath there and ended up ripping that linkage off. And it's it's pretty thin linkage. It's kind of chintzy. It's not real heavy duty linkage. So that got caught and it broke off. When I brought it to the dealer, I just had them order the part, and they put it on. It was like half an hour worth of labor, and I can't remember how much the part was. 50, 60 bucks maybe at the most. It wasn't too terrible. But anyway, that broke, got caught on a branch and ripped it off, and pretty easy solution. I did bring it to the dealer. They fixed it, and then it still didn't work. They didn't adjust it correctly. So I adjusted it myself and got it to work just fine. But yeah, if that happens to you, make sure the dealer adjusts it correctly. It's not hard to adjust yourself, but yeah, so that happened. All right, finally the mother of all fails. This is a hydraulic cylinder for the curl function. I actually broke one of these. Well, I didn't. Personally, I didn't even see it happen. I was letting a friend use the tractor, and we're actually on a job together, and I had him go move some stuff with the grapple. And he drove over to me and he said, it won't curl. And as soon as he tried to do it, all of a sudden I could see, you could see hydraulic fluid literally just spewing out of the end of this. And this graphite shaft right here, of course, I don't know what he was doing. I'm assuming he just, as per usual, probably just put too much stress on it and then snapped it. So that happened. He was not experienced on the tractor literally at all. I think it was like his second or third time ever driving this tractor. I don't think he's ever drove any before. So I don't really consider it to be anyone's fault. Probably my own, really. And just, maybe not training him well enough or what have you. But again, I'm not even sure how it happened. That's my assumption, because that's typically how that would happen. But who knows? Regardless, I took it to the dealership. I wasn't too concerned about it because I had the money to fix it, even if they did charge me. But they actually covered it under warranty. It was no really fault of mine at all. I was expecting to pay several hundreds of dollars to get it fixed. In terms of labor, it's not really that hard to put on. They just take a press and they push out the joints there, and then put the new one in and hook up the hydraulic lines, add more fluid. It's not really a huge process from what he was explaining to me, but anyway, he didn't charge me at all to replace that. He said he actually never saw something like that happen, which I was surprised. So I guess I'm the only one out here breaking breaking hydraulics on the loader. But anyway, super awesome that a dealership would stand by you. I'm not saying that yours will. I'm not saying go out there and wreck your machinery and try to get your dealer to cover it. But I think I've been a good customer to them, and they've been a great dealership to me. So we have an awesome relationship. I will always buy my John Deere equipment from them. So that's how well they take care of me. But anyway, that's been my biggest failure or breakdown, whatever you want to call it. But luckily, that was not too damaging to my pocketbook. So I'm very thankful to that. 230.8 hours. Well, there it is, you guys. 230 hours already. That's crazy to me. I never got a chance to do a 100-hour review or 200-hour review. I just flew past those milestones so incredibly fast that I didn't really have a chance. So you can find all those types of reviews on YouTube. There's probably about 100 of them out there for all I know. So this is my poor attempt at doing one. But I'm really not trying to paint like a negative picture with all the things that I broke, or to say that this particular machine is it's going to break down on you. All these are really minor in my book. I can order a part and then fix it with basic hand tools. So that's really nothing major. I've had no mechanical failures, anything major whatsoever with the engine, the transmission, the drivetrain, any of that. And that's really what matters to me. So all the little stuff I kind of expected to break, and I've equipped myself well enough to fix most of it by myself. So that's pretty much it. I can't say enough about the tractor. I could probably produce hundreds of hours of video on just how much I love it. So try to be realistic with you on some of my experiences with it, what I broke, and relatively how much it cost to fix. But yeah, hey, thanks again for all your support. We just passed up Thanksgiving here. I hope you all had a good time. Hope you all were able to do some stuff with family. It may have been different this year. I know it's been a really odd year for all of us. So I hope you're all able to stay safe. I'm thankful for all of you who watch the videos and subscribe to the channel. I do this for fun. I love to be a part of a tractor community. I never thought I'd ever be a part of something like that, but there's so many people that have fun with these little tractors. They do such cool, interesting projects, and they buy all kinds of neat attachments, and it's just kind of a fun hobby. So Appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate y'all's support. Your comments are really fun to engage in. You know, sometimes I come back from work and I have a rough day and I read some of these comments and I'm like, hey, that brightens up my day. So y'all probably don't know that you do that, but you definitely do. So thanks for your support. Thanks for commenting. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them. And yeah, that wraps it up. So thanks for your support, guys, and I wish you all well.